Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos and Abuja. A reminder of our top stories. Anambra sets for supplementary election. Nigerian Army renews commitment to the fight against terrorism. Federal High Court Abuja sentences a Lebanese national to life imprisonment for conspiracy to import prohibited arms. And trial of 2 Nigerians who allegedly killed a British soldier begins. But do remember that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. And you can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Of course, you can also be part of the news by interacting with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have a picture or video to share with us, all you need to do is download the Channels TV Android app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow the instructions to share your reports, your pictures and videos. Well, now we're taking it a step further for those who have Windows phones. The Channels TV mobile app on the Windows Store will be featured in the store on December the 1st, 2013. The Windows Store features apps that are well-designed, innovative, and offer unique value on a weekly basis. Now, this will also give Nigerian users in Cameroon, Ghana, Kenya, Lesotho, Mozambique, Swaziland, Tanzania, Uganda and Zambia the opportunity to stay abreast of the latest developments in Nigeria via the Channels TV app. Now, the Channels TV app is also available on the iOS and Google Play stores, so do take advantage of our many platforms today. All right, we take you live now to our Abuja studios where Gloria Ume Izoke is standing by. Gloria.
Hello, Ijoma. Many thanks for joining us here in the nation's capital. A federal high court in Abuja has sentenced a Lebanese, Ahmad Talal Roda, to life imprisonment for conspiracy to import prohibited firearms into the country. The court, however, freed 2 other Lebanese businessmen, Mustafa Fawaz and Abdallah Tahini, who were accused of terrorism, money laundering, and conspiracy to import prohibited arms. Now, in sentencing Mr. Roda, Justice Adeniyi Ademola said the offense of conspiracy, which falls under the Miscellaneous Act, does not give room for judicial discretion by the trial judge. Hence, capital punishment must be applied. Our correspondent, Amaka Okafo, reports.
After 6 months of trial, the 3 Lebanese accused of terrorism, money laundering and illegal importation of firearms arrived at the Federal High Court in Abuja for verdict in their trial. His Lordship Justice Adeniyi Ademola, who divided the 16-count charges into 3 groups, ruled that the prosecution failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt that all the 3 accused persons were members of an international terrorist group, Hezbollah. He said for a group to qualify as a terrorist organization, it must be gazetted by the federal government in compliance with Section 9 of the Terrorism Prevention Act. He said the prosecution failed to provide any material evidence to indicate that Hezbollah has been gazetted by the federal government. He also ruled that the prosecution failed to prove that all the accused persons received training with intent to commit a terrorist act as members of Hezbollah. Justice Ademola therefore acquitted the 3 accused persons of charges 1 to 5 relating to membership of an international terrorist group. The judge also held that on count 6, the prosecution failed to prove that the said cache of arms found at number 3 Gaya Street in Kano belonged to any of the 3 accused persons. He ruled that the inability of the prosecution to provide material evidence makes the accusation baseless, as the court cannot rely on pictures and video CDs presented to the court as evidence. These evidence, he says, were not enough to prove that the weapons belonged to the accused persons.
From counts 1 to 6, all quashed, because Hezbollah military wing or any wing at all is not, as far as the court has found, just like we have submitted, is not known as a terrorist organization in Nigeria.
When a court finds that a case fails because government has not done certain things under the act, I think we should not go further than that to look for who to blame.
However, the judge agreed with the prosecution that the third accused person, Ahmed Talal Roda, in his confessional statement and oral evidence before the court, had knowledge of the said weapons, having admitted to being charged with the responsibility to take care of the weapons. Justice Ademola therefore handed him the maximum sentence of life imprisonment. While the third accused person was led back to the Kuje prison, the first and second accused person could not hide their joy of being acquitted by the court.
Anybody who invests in a place in billions of naira will not be interested in destroying it. And we believe in Nigeria, we continue to believe in Nigeria, and we thank God and we thank the Nigerian people for all the support they have rendered to us throughout our lives in Nigeria.
Following the judgment, Justice Ademola ordered that the first and second accused persons be released and all their belongings returned to them immediately. He also ordered that their businesses, Amigos Supermarket and Wonderland Amusement Park, be unsealed immediately. He however ordered that the house at number 3 Gaya Road, Kano, where the said arms and ammunition were found, should be forfeited to the federal government. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian army has promised that they will bring to justice all the insurgents that have been terrorizing residents in the northeastern part of the country. The Director of Public Relations, Brigadier General Ibrahim Tahiru, told journalists in Abuja that the army will continue to carry out full-spectrum counter-insurgency operations to ensure the insurgents are frustrated out of operations. He appealed to residents in the affected areas to promptly report the presence of insurgents in their localities by contacting the nearest military or police locations to ensure more lives are not lost.
The Nigerian Army on its part continues to carry out full-spectrum counter-insurgency operations with emphasis on both kinetic and non-kinetic operations to shape the operational environment in the Northeast. This is in line with higher commanders' intention and the federal government's avowed commitment and the quick restoration to normalcy in the Northeast. Currently, 7 divisions of the Nigerian Army, in conjunction with the Nigerian Air Force, have carried out simultaneous offensive operations. It is heartwarming to note that the operations were largely successful. Based on these operations, insurgents were successfully cleared from some camps in Sambisa Forest, Bita village in Damboa local government, as well as Gujba in neighboring Yobe states. Many insurgents were killed and large catch of arms and ammunition were also recovered. Subsequent operations to consolidate on these gains and deny insurgents freedom of action in the entire Northeast are still ongoing. The Nigerian Army will continue the operations in pursuit of insurgents in order to bring them to justice.
The International Human Rights Commission has offered to mediate in the ongoing face-off between the government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities. In an interview with Channels Television, the Ambassador-at-Large and World Chairman of the International Human Rights Commission, Dr. Mohammed Khan, says it is unacceptable that university students have been at home for several months. He also spoke on the objectives of the Commission.
According to the 2009 agreement between the government and academic staff, if the government will uphold that agreement and whatever, even according to not agreement, according to the government, whatever the government is providing the funding to the academic staff and the universities, they have to clear us that what kind of, how much they can provide us. And I will discuss with the lecturers and academic staff what is their demand. And I'm assuring you that we can, International Human Rights Commission can organize and introduce the Nigeria National Literacy Fund. And that Nigeria National Literacy Fund will not ask the government of the Federation and the states to pull out any single naira into it. we will be responsible. From wherever, whatever means we will collect that money, we will collect it and we will meet the demand of ASU. So at least next 10 or 15 years, there will be no strike and there will be no demand. And in the other light, the only request we will do it with the Federation is that they should make the universities financially independent, so that the universities can generate the funds themselves as well, by the international students program, by the having an international agreements, and this will ease the burden of the government on education.
Well, President Goodluck Jonathan is spending the weekend in his home state of Bayelsa, where he is attending some private matters. He was welcomed in Yenagoa by the state governor, Sarah K. Dixon, after which they proceeded to the government house for discussions. Well, that's it from the nation's capital. Back to you, Ijoma, in Lagos.
Well, thanks a lot, Gloria. Live there in the nation's capital, Abuja. Well, solutions to conception challenges faced by some couples may be closer home as the Bridge Clinic, a solely assisted conception clinic, formally opens in Ikeja, Lagos, southwest Nigeria. At the event, the clinical director of the Bridge Clinic, Dr. Richard Ajayi, says the clinic's primary objective of providing the highest standards of fertility services comparable with the best globally will be upheld at the new center.
These twins are the first babies to be conceived through in vitro fertilization, IVF, at the Bridge Clinic in the year 2000. The Bridge Hospital, known for taking care of fertility problems in couples through the IVF, has a track record of over 1,000 baby deliveries in 13 years. After the unveiling of the state-of-the-art facility in the hospital, the clinical director of the Bridge Clinic, Dr. Richard Ajayi, says the hospital has the European regulatory standard in conducting IVF. This is corroborated by its partner, IVF ZEC International.
People have a need, and I think the need now drives your behavior. What is important is that they understand that we can help them, we can provide the services, and once they come in here, they meet us, they trust us, because, you know, it's what we do. We don't do anything else. And over the years, we've learned how to do it well.
He had the vision very early also to have these ISO standards as we do, and that's the basic to start building up a good relationship, to have implementations for quality control. And that was why we started this collaboration.
Mrs. Ifama Emekwe is the mother of these twins conceived through IVF at the clinic.
Since the doctors have said I had 0 chances of conceiving naturally and I have this opportunity for IVF, why not take it? So I went in there praying and hoping and having faith that it was going to work for me, and it did work for me.
The permanent secretary of the Lagos State Ministry of Health, Dr. Femi Olugbele, said the state is not compromising on standard medical practice.
This is a very worthwhile project. From its conception, certain things have stood out that have made the Bridge Clinic and the Bridge practice like a benchmark.
With its presence on Oduduwa Way in Ikeja, the management of the Bridge Clinic says by maintaining international approved standards of best practice, couples that need assistance are assured of best chances of attaining conception through IVF at the clinic.
Now, when the news at 10 returns, the equities market records a downward movement. That's on Business News. Do join us again.